Young cat got back, did a little bit. Now we hardy, puffy, tough, do-rag and Tim's. Kinda hard to get a job back out on the block. Charge that to the game. Young girl, she grew up in a rush. Had it bad, no doubt. She don't know who to trust. Every man she ever loved only wanna crush. Charge that to the game.
Good afternoon and welcome back to Expose Under the Sun. I'm Sharon Dumas, your host, and I'm excited today to have Mr. Keith White here with me. And we're here to talk about cancer awareness. This is Cancer Awareness Month, and Keith has started an organization that's doing great things in the city of Detroit. How you doing?
I am great. How are you?
I'm doing great, just fine. So tell me a little bit about what you're doing and why you're doing it.
Okay. First, we have an organization, Cancer Awareness and Resource Network. Now, we started actually in November of 2014 as a result of my wife, who was actually diagnosed with cancer earlier that year. And it was just kind of interesting because when she was before she was actually diagnosed, she was going to the doctor kind of feeling bad, and her doctor of 20-some years diagnosed her with a severe case of gas, only to find out later on that she was actually in the third stage of ovarian cancer. And so we've been on a real roller coaster ride. But in the process, after she was diagnosed, I just really became a sponge and just really just getting into the whole everything about cancer, reading everything I could. And so we started the Cancer Awareness and Resource Network for a couple of different reasons. One, because the first reason is because while I was at the infusion center with that we would go every week and see different people, and I met a young lady that I would talk to every week. And so we were getting ready to leave this one particular week, and said, "Okay, well, see you next week," as we always do. She said, "No." I said, "What do you mean?" She had figured out how much money she had and how much money it would take for her to get to the end of her the services that she needed. And she figured out she didn't have enough. And she made a life and death decision that she was not going to come back and spend the rest of her money. And she knew she couldn't get to the end. And that hurt me. Actually, it still hurts me to the day to think about her, because I've never seen her again. And so we started from there.
That's amazing. And you know, people make that type of decision every day. I know my mom, the medicine, it costs so much money
wow,
for
yes.
seniors until sometimes she has to make a decision, and sometimes we have to add to, you know, what it is just to make sure that she gets her medication. So I'm sure that was like devastating for someone to make a life and death decision like that.
Right. But I tell you, the cost of medication, especially for cancer care, is very expensive, not just for seniors.
Right, absolutely, because now they have a cancer insurance, you know, that you can get that's like life insurance, but if you get cancer. So the interesting thing to me is that why does so many people have it? I've never seen anything like this before. It has to be environment, or it has to be something that so many people are getting cancer.
Well, a lot of it is. It's I
Stress?
was just reading. Well, stress exacerbates cancer.
Right.
Exactly. I was reading some information yesterday. As a matter of fact, it was telling us that 40% of the cancers actually deals with our weight. We have environmental, which is very big, and so there's just a lot of things, and a lot of us think that it's heavily weighted on our genes, but that's probably the smallest percentage of the cancer diagnosis today.
Well, this is the thing. I remember when Jackie Onassis passed away, okay? She
Yes.
died of cancer.
Yes.
She died from the same cancer that my neighbor died from. Jackie eats better food, breathes better air, relaxed, rich. How could she do that?
Well, but that's why I say it's a smaller percentage.
Yes, I mean,
Some of it is environmental. Some of it is our weight. Some of it is
stress.
our genes.
Now,
Stress
that we have in
exacerbates
common.
cancer. 10, 100 times fold.
right,
Yeah.
right. Well, it's great that you have a resource organization. What kinds of things do you give to people for resources?
Well, I mean, it's interesting you say that, because that really gets into what we're going to be doing later on this month.
Okay.
What we as an organization have been doing Prior to that, is we've been concentrating on the awareness side of it. So with Cancer Awareness and Resource Network, there are two sides, the awareness side and then the resource side. So initially what we started doing was concentrating on the awareness side. And one of the things that we have really been heavily concentrating on is what we call the colors of cancer. So we're in what most of us have dubbed Breast Cancer Month. And so most of us think that the color of cancer is pink. But actually the color of pink is actually the color of breast cancer.
Okay.
So every cancer actually has its own color.
Does it really?
Absolutely. So for instance, ovarian cancer, as you'll see, most of my materials will always have teal, because teal is the color of ovarian cancer.
Right.
White is the color of lung cancer. Black is the color of myeloma, and burgundy is the color of multimyeloma. And so we've got the color of colon cancer is dark blue, and prostate cancer is light blue. So every cancer has its own color.
But why? How did that happen?
Well, now I can't really tell you how
Okay.
it happened. I can tell you that when I started really becoming a sponge, and when that was one of the things I found, and when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, because I too was like most of us thought that the color of cancer was pink.
Right.
Now, some people have asked me, well, what does that matter? Well, it matters because when you are out here and you're giving money back to an organization, if you're giving to a breast cancer organization, which I am not opposed to, I think that's a wonderful thing. They've done an excellent job of drawing the attention to cancer. But if you're giving to a breast cancer organization, just make sure that you know that that's what you're doing.
Right.
I met one in particular, a guy who was giving, he was a 13-year survivor, and every year he was showing me that he gives religiously part of his income tax back to cancer organizations. Just unfortunate for him, he just didn't know he was giving it to a breast cancer organization. And when I explained to him the difference, he was really saddened, because since he was a colon cancer survivor, he thought he was giving back to a colon cancer organization.
I see.
And so our main purpose of what we're doing when we talk about the colors of cancer is bring the awareness that if you whatever organization you're giving to, just make sure you know that you're giving to the right one.
Okay. So what is the big reveal? I know you guys have the big reveal coming up. What is
The
that?
big reveal. I am so excited about the big reveal, and we're actually just about all sold out.
Oh, okay. Great.
And the big reveal is on October the 25th, and it's
Okay.
going to be at the Skyline Club, and here in Southfield. And so we are going to be revealing some things that we've been working on for a long time. And I am so excited because people call me and they want to RSVP, and you have to RSVP. And they said, well, what are you doing? What's going on?
Right.
And I said, well, if I told you, then you don't have to come.
Right.
But people are saying, I feel like Curious George because I'm coming. But I just want to know what you're doing. And we started off with one thing that we were going to reveal, and now we have 4.
Okay.
It is going to be so awesome because we're doing things that's related to cancer and helping cancer fighters, survivors, and caregivers. But on this particular night, we're going to do something or we're going to announce something that we don't know that has ever been done. We're going to be doing some things for anybody and everybody that touch cancer in a positive way. So
Okay.
it's going to be really, really exciting. I am so excited about it.
The big reveal.
The big reveal.
So give your contact information so people can contact you and get their tickets.
If you want to get tickets, if you want to register for the big reveal, October the 25th at the Skyline Club, 5:30 sharp, you can call us at area code 470-771-KARN, 470-771-2276, and RSVP. and make sure you are in the place for the big reveal.
The big reveal, and that's the Skyline in Southfield.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, I've done some research on cancer and breast cancer, and I read that a lot of cancer comes from the body being toxic.
Yes.
Have you done any research on that at all?
Well, absolutely. And that's another reason why when we talk about the colors of cancer, we talk about cancer. Matter of fact, our motto is cancer doesn't discriminate, so we won't either. And because when we talk about cancer, cancer is cancer is cancer. And so whether it's breast cancer, ovarian cancer, it's all depends on where the cancer settles. And so cancer spreads, it populates when there is toxic parts of your body. And so a lot of times we don't think about what we eat, what we drink, where we eat, where all the different things that we put in our body. One thing for me, especially now, I only drink a certain kind of water because the water that I drink, it's 9.5 pH because cancer cannot live in an alkalinic society. Most of us, our body is more more toxic because it's not alkalinic. It's more acidic.
Right.
And so cancer loves the acidic society. Cancer loves sugar, which we act
Eat
like
a
we
lot
can't
of.
live without.
Right.
But the truth of the matter is we really can. We have learned that eating sugar is a learned behavior. And so the way that we've learned this, we can learn something else. Because you're going to pay for it on the front end, on the back end.
Oh, absolutely. No, I saw a study where they tested water here in the Michigan area.
Yes.
And it talked about the pH.
Yes.
And do you know Detroit water is actually 7.5 pH? Now, the problem they said is what's in it other than measuring the pH.
Yeah.
Right? So I understand that. And then also, I did some research on, I know that cancer lives in an acidic environment. So if your body is alkaline, I learned that you can take fresh lemon
Absolutely.
and make your water alkaline.
Absolutely.
So
Or limes.
or limes.
Or limes.
So it doesn't always have to cost a lot of money
Sure.
in order to work. We can do just the little small things to
Sure.
kind of make things better for our environment.
Absolutely. So if you're in a restaurant and you don't have the 9.5 pH, you should actually always ask for some lemons or some lime to put in your water, so that will actually boost its pH and give you a much better water.
Except what I also researched
Okay.
is that the chemicals on the rinds of the lemon or the lime is now seeking into the water. So you can ask for lemon or lime, but do not put it in your water. Squeeze it and
Absolutely.
put it to the side.
Absolutely. I mean, that is so interesting because even when you go to the store, and I've done this and I've talked to people often, you go to the store and you go to the organic section. And I've gone and I've seen organic cucumbers and say, okay, yes, that's good. Now that's the positive side to that is organic cucumbers. That's great.
Right.
The negative side to that is wrapped in plastic.
Right.
And so when it's wrapped in plastic and it hits the heat allows the toxins
Yeah.
to get into the cucumber.
Right.
So now you just offset the good stuff in the cucumber. And so it's a living healthy. It's not an easy thing, but we have to take care of ourselves, and education is the new currency.
Education is the new currency because it's good when you clean your fruit and vegetables with apple cider vinegar.
Absolutely. Apple cider vinegar, actually, you really should drink a little bit every day.
I drink it every day. I drink a tea every morning,
Yes.
with a tablespoon and a cup and
Yes.
honey. But with the apple cider vinegar, some people think you're supposed to be able to drink it just straight. I know someone that actually it burned their esophagus, so you don't drink it straight down. You have to mix it
Mix it
with
with a little
water.
water, yeah.
It's good for high blood pressure.
Yes.
I know that.
Yes.
And then when you soak your vegetables, you should soak them for about 10 or 15 minutes in water and Bragg's apple cider vinegar. It doesn't have to be Bragg's.
It's actually one of the best, Bragg.
It's one of the best, but as long as it's not, what is it? However, it's processed. So we're not talking about vinegar that we soak our ribs in if you eat ribs.
Absolutely.
You know.
There's a cleaning vinegar that's actually on the market, and a lot of times, you know, you could pick that up by mistake, but
Right.
it's cleaning vinegar. So, and that's why I always say Bragg's. I like Bragg's because it's one of your best. It's
Been around a long time.
yeah.
It does a lot. But I got some from Walmart.
Mhm.
So I'm looking for the word unfiltered, unprocessed. I just know that it's not the regular process that you want to go through in order to clean your fruits and vegetables. And now I'm learning that, we take a capful of bleach, they tell you, and now I use vinegar because,
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah. Anything that you see, the key word is processed.
Right,
Anything that's processed means that it has been altered
right,
from its original state.
right.
And so when you see something that says it's unprocessed, that's a good thing.
That is a good thing. So we're about to close. I
Yes.
really want you to pitch people out there to come to the big reveal. You have 30 seconds. How
30
about that?
seconds. Ooh, wait. So listen, on October the 25th, that's a Wednesday, 5:30 sharp. You've got to be there. The Skyline Club, we are having the big Reveal Cancer Awareness and Resource Network. We are revealing 4 major things that's going to touch your life. If you are a cancer survivor, a caregiver, or a survivor, you want to be there. If you touch cancer in a positive way, any kind of way, you need to be there. Call 470-771-KARN, 470-771-2276.
Great, fantastic. And how's your wife doing, real quick?
She has some good days and she
Okay.
has some tough days.
Okay.
And so what we're learning to do is, which is a new series that goes to something else, but we're learning to live with passion.
And that's all we can do.
That's all we can do.
You have been watching Expose Under the Sun. I'm Sharon Dumas, and we'll see you next week.
Fabulous. Hi, Mommy. Hi, Daddy. I'm fabulous.
Young cat got back, did a little bit. Now we hardy, puffy, tough, do rag and Tim's.